If you're a Cleveland Browns fan looking for a break from the emotional roller coaster that is the price we pay from loving then hating our Browns, then a big welcome to Cleveland Browns Anonymous, a group therapy podcast to help you survive the season. So let's start our meeting.
Hi, everybody. This is Mike Reilly on Victory Tuesday. And with me back on the bandwagon is my partner, Brook Reilly. Brook, how you doing on Tuesday?
I never left.
Okay. Crawled back.
Spoken like a true Browns fan.
I know. Well, it is a roller coaster. So that's why we, Cleveland Browns Anonymous. It's one day at a time, right?
Yep.
Well, enter the Deshaun Watson era. So your thoughts, Brook?
Well, my thoughts are I hope it doesn't turn out like Russell Wilson and the Broncos. Talk about a dumpster fire there.
Oh, yeah. That's just awful. Awful.
I don't think it will be, but I think Browns fans need to pump the brakes. I mean, the dude hasn't played football in 2 years. So I actually think it's good that, the first game back is against probably the worst team in the league.
Yeah.
It's just ironically against his old team, which Roger Goodell, there's no irony there. I mean, that was planned. Like, I have a feeling they were like, all right, we're going to give him 9 or 10 games. And then he's like, yeah, well, Houston's 11. That would boost some viewing. So, yeah, let's make it 11.
Well, and we're also playing, in warmer climates for his first game back. So that's good. My general thoughts about Deshaun Watson is when you think about the wreckage of all these first-round quarterbacks that were drafted, Baker, Sam Darnold, Rosen. I mean, Josh Allen, obviously, they hit a home run there, but he was, I think, the 6th guy picked. Of course, Patrick Mahomes, Browns could have had him. I mean, it is a little bit of a crap shoot in terms of trying to, measure a quarterback. And from everything that I've read or heard, I mean, Watson is, he's a young Aaron Rodgers. He is an elite quarterback, and which for Browns fans, we have not seen an elite quarterback since Bernie Kosar. I mean, that is a long, long time. It's over 30 years. So it's going to be fascinating. Let's just say, he gets the game under his feet, Houston Texans, but you're looking at a tremendous change in dynamics if Watson is anywhere near what he was prior to his 2-year layoff. Thoughts?
Yeah, I think the reason the Browns went after him was, A, they didn't believe in Baker, but B, I mean, elite quarterbacks don't leave their teams. So, or at least it's very, very rare. So I think when they heard through the grapevine, through his people, saying, hey, yeah, he'd be interested to play there. I mean, I think the Browns did what they had to do to secure one of the top quarterbacks in the league.
And when you see Baker, how's Baker been playing? I mean, oh my God!
Garbage.
And it's what's really telling when you look at Baker and also look at Jacoby Brissett. I know we've been hammering Stefanski, these last 5 or 6 podcasts, but nobody is arguing with the fact that he is an offensive genius. The way he can milk, the way he got any kind of production out of Baker Mayfield. Look at Jacoby Brissett. I mean, people are saying, this guy, could be a starting quarterback. I don't think so, but you've got Stefanski trying to get the most out of these quarterbacks. Plus, you have an elite offense between O-line, running backs, and Njoku and Amari Cooper, and Peoples-Jones is quietly having a very good year. I think David Bell's going to have a good year. And I think Watson is the kind of quarterback where a guy like Anthony Schwartz, can really take off. Because one of the things Watson excels at is when he gets out of the pocket, I mean, he's going to spy Schwartz down the field. And he's the kind of guy that's not going to overthrow him or underthrow him or, do what Baker did or do what Jacoby did. I mean, he's got the kind of arm and the kind of touch that is going to make these receivers elite receivers. So I'm going to be fascinated to see how Watson, working with Stefanski and working with that Maserati-like offense that Andrew Berry's put together, it's going to be interesting to watch that team take off. Thoughts?
Yeah, well, I think the one thing that's concerning is Jacoby Brissett is not the reason the Browns have the record that they do. In my opinion, it's the defense, it's the play calling, and it's the coaching staff. Now, you could argue, that if you have an elite quarterback that, they'll be able to keep you in those games. I think that's true, but it is a little unsettling that probably a majority of the Browns' losses, comes down to the defense and the play calling.
I would agree with you, but I'm going to caveat that a little bit. I think if you look back at these games, Watson was probably good. I mean, what's our record now? 4-6. What's our record? Brooke?
Yeah, 4-6.
Yeah, 4-7. Anyways, we're going out to game 11, right? Which is the Texans.
Yeah, we're 4-7.
4-7. Okay. Time flies when you're being miserable. I think easily the Browns, you take the Jets game, you take, I think they easily could have won the Atlanta game. I think they could have put up big numbers with Watson there with the Atlanta game. I think he could have really torched the Ravens. So I think you could easily, with Watson as quarterback and a defense which is average at best, Browns could easily be 7-4 with Watson at the helm.
Spoken like a true Browns fan.
I know. But you're always searching for the rainbow. You're Brook, as a Browns fan. But I think what's going to happen if Watson is as good as they say and this offense really thrives, I think it changes the dynamics of the game, where now the defense has something to play for. And they can let it rip knowing that their offense is going to be like Patrick Mahomes, the KC offense. There's something about when you have a really loaded offense, like the Chargers, like KC. Think about, the other teams that have really standout offenses. The defense doesn't feel like they have to carry the game. And I think that is an X factor. There's no question that the Browns have underperformed as defense. And Browns fans are continually disappointed at the lack of a shutdown D that we keep being promised with all the free agents they signed so I'm not gonna say that the defense is not a problem. It's an issue, but the dynamics of these games are going to change when you have an elite offense operating at high gear, really putting the pressure on the other team to score. Now you're going to see they're not going to be running the ball as much. They're going to try to stay with the Browns, and they're going to pass more. And they pass more, theoretically, that's where the Browns' strength is, in the secondary. And Emerson looks like a great pickup, the way he shut down Evans. I'm not ready to say, Joe Woods, your job is saved after playing the Buccaneers because, Brady looked old in that game. I mean, he was missing receivers. Once again, the Bucs for some unknown reason, didn't run the ball as much as they should have. I mean, Brady looked like an older version of Joe Burrows with the Bengals. So the Browns lucked out in that respect. But I think the pressure's off the defense now with Watson back, and I think that's gonna be a factor. Your thoughts?
Yeah, well, I think that, you look at teams like the Chiefs, the Dolphins, they're good. I mean, even going back to the Bengals last year, the Ravens, yeah, they don't have, amazing defenses, but at least they're capable. They're capable defenses. I mean, that's really, I think, all we need defense to be. And I think you're right. I think once Watson and the offense starts to gel, the defense will start to play a little better because the opposing offense, will have to change up their scheme. I just think that there's way too much talent on that defense to have their record be what it is.
Hey, let's stop here. We got to pay some bills. 30 seconds, and we'll be back. Getting your house ready to sell, or you just need some basic repairs, and you can't get anybody to come out or even return your phone call. Then call Reilly Painting and Contracting, your home mechanics, for all of your home repair needs, from electrical, plumbing, roof repairs, and getting your house ready to sell. 45 years in the business, a AAA on the Better Business Bureau, and we're on the preferred contractor list in Cleveland Heights and Shaker Heights. You can contact us by calling 216-371-8160 and leave a message, and guess what? We'll call you back.
Yeah, and I think the other factor that comes into play, and this, if the Browns with Andrew Berry in the front office, this is where depth really comes into play, because it's a 17-game season, and injuries are a fact of life. I mean, look, we lost 2 centers, and Posick was having a great year, and this is where the Browns have. I mean, they've got backups on their O-line with Hudson and guys that can step in. I'm just got my fingers crossed that Clowney stays healthy, that Garrett's able to play, that Joe Wood simplifies the defense so that these guys can play, with a little bit more abandonment. I think there's some guys out there, like, what's your thoughts on this guy, Kelly, who's playing linebacker? This guy seems to be all over the place.
Yeah, I think he's been playing well. Yeah, I don't have any complaints with him. I'm a little worried about our field goal kicker.
Yeah. Well, hey,
he's also a rookie, though, and he's used to playing in Louisiana in the South, and, those Cleveland wins. So, I'm willing to give this year a pass. He gets used to the climates and the winds down there. But
yeah, it's going to be. I think we got to keep remembering he's a rookie, and analytics people out there can look at Adam Vinatieri. How was he his first year? I mean, McPherson, he missed a bunch of field goals with the Bengals last year in the Green Bay game. So, rookie is a rookie is a rookie. I think Stefanski needs to spend more time coaching the coaches and getting in their ear and reminding them.
Yeah.
I mean, this is something where,
that's probably what drives fans crazy the most. I mean, I watched Uncle Rizzo on 850 ESPN. This was, I think, a week ago. Torched Kevin Stefanski. I mean, he was like, get your head out of your playbook and start coaching the whole team, not just your offense.
Yeah, that's why we got Alex Van Pelt. Okay? I mean, what's he doing there? Is he just getting coffee for Stefanski? I mean, really. I think I mean, you look at a well-coached team like the Titans. I mean, who just seem to get the most out of their players. I mean, he doesn't have Vrabel doesn't have an elite quarterback in Tannehill, but somehow they're always winning games, and you don't see him calling plays. You don't see Harbaugh calling plays. I think the guys that call the plays tend to, I don't know. I don't see Andy Reid calling plays. And maybe, question mark, there is, if you have an elite quarterback like Watson, who can win games, with his legs, get outside the pocket and make plays happen, it takes the pressure off Stefanski. Maybe Stefanski's just been working overtime, trying to coax games out of Baker, coax games out of Jacoby, Brissett. I mean, you can see there's got to be something to the fact that the Browns start off strong with these scripted plays. Defense makes adjustment, and now you're facing the limitations of the quarterback that you have. There's only so much these guys can do. You can't keep pulling rabbits out of the hat during the game. But Watson is a guy that can make plays happen, and these guys don't have to be super wide open for Watson to get the ball to him, which seems to be the case with Baker and Brissett. Your thoughts?
I still think though that you have to make a change on the defensive side.
Oh no, coaching. He's gone. He's got it.
He's in way over his head.
Yeah, and it's one thing if it's his first year,
and the players are chirping back in the press. Yeah. They're doing it in their own kind of way. I heard Grant Delpit. He said something after, I think it was the Bills game or the Dolphins game, and he was talking about like there's something to the effect of, we play well when we're prepared well.
Yeah.
And and that's kind of reading through the lines. But hey, I commend Stefanski for trying to establish some consistency in the coaching staff. But I think 3 years is enough of the Joe Woods experiment. I just don't think he's meant to be, a head guy on the defensive side.
Let's wrap this up by changing subject and really looking at the NFL as a whole. Who do you think is the number one team in the NFL? Give me the top. Let's just say the top five.
What is this like? Is this like my top five or according to PFF?
PFF? No, your top five.
Okay, I would say the Chiefs, number one.
I don't think there's anybody in the North that's in the top five. Vikings, really?
Vikings are frauds.
Yeah.
I think the Chiefs are good. I think the Niners are good. I think the Dolphins are good.
I think the Dolphins. Dolphins would be my number one team. They're starting. Everybody's starting to settle in their roles. I mean, they're just smoking teams. I don't think I would put the Chiefs in the top five. That's for sure. But then you think 49ers with Garoppolo. I think their GM
and McCaffrey.
Getting McCaffrey, that was a game change. I mean, now they're
hey, the Eagles.
The Eagles. They got beat by
they're
the
number
Commanders.
one, I think.
Yeah.
I'd say it's Eagles, Chiefs, Dolphins, Bengals, Bills.
Yeah, I don't know. There's injuries.
The Titans, I don't believe in. The New York teams, I don't believe in. Seattle, The NFC South. The NFC South. What a joke that is. Panthers, Falcons, Bucks.
Cool.
I
think
Packers. How about the Packers? Ugh.
The Vikings.
But the worst. The creme de la creme.
Look at the Vikings.
The Broncos.
The Vikings play the Packers twice, and they play the Bears twice. And who else is in that division?
The Bears. The Lions.
The Lions are an okay team. I don't think they're like the Broncos.
I like their coach, though.
I think one of the things is you put Deshaun Watson, a warmed up Deshaun Watson, not coming off a 2-year layup, but if you get a Deshaun Watson in there, suddenly the Browns leap in to the conversation, the top 10. I mean, they could have given Bill.
Yeah, if you put Deshaun on the Panthers would be the top team in their division.
Yeah.
Got a great defense. They wouldn't have traded Christian McCaffrey. But at the start of the season, my Super Bowl predictions starting to look a little good. I had Chiefs, Vikings.
Wow. I don't think the Vikings are going to survive the playoffs. So
the Chiefs look good, man.
Yeah, well, we will see. But we're going to have a lot to talk about after the Texans game. A lot to talk about. This is where the Browns have been holding on. Stefanski has been, patching tires, taking duct tape to the car, and now you're going to see. I mean, can you imagine with Watson under center the game that Chubb's going to have? Knowing that Watson is a threat, to throw a touchdown anytime he goes back there. A whole different game. I mean, everybody's been crowding the box on Brissett. Double covering Amari. And Brissett's just throwing these little square outs. Every now and then something breaks loose. And I love Jacoby Brissett. I mean, this is the guy, from what I'm, reading, what the teammates are saying. I mean, it's night and day over Baker. They love Brissett. He's trying. He's giving it all.
He's a professional,
Yeah. So.
Drama.
Yep. So, Brook, okay. Well, you're back on the wagon. We got a lot to talk about next Tuesday. All right?
Just Browns fans, just pump the brakes. All right?
All right.
Let Deshaun shake out the rust. Sky's not falling if, he doesn't play as well as you saw him play 2 years ago.
Well, he can hand the ball off to Chubb. So
there you go.
All right. Thanks, Brook. We'll talk next week.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Cleveland Browns Anonymous podcast with Mike Reilly. We have a lot more content on the way as we get this new podcast started. You can also check out some of our other podcasts like the Cleveland Real Estate Investor Podcast and other new ones that will start soon. On any platform that you find yourself listening to us on, feel free to leave us a like or a comment or follow us. It always helps.